Melffy's got support, so naturally I had to showcase them in a duel and then do a deck profile, and we once again got Dark Magic Couple in the background.
What's up, everybody?
So yeah, I didn't get a box of Chaos Origins in the end because Gungner, big shout out to him, hooked both me and Emma up with all of the new support cards, which means there was no need for me to get a box. But like I said, I still need 2 copies of the new BLS and 1 copy of Magician of Dark Chaos, but that's another story. So yeah, let's show you some updated Melffys, starting with the 3 elves, including the new main deck monster, a literal Stratos. Melffy Rabbies. Again, I'll just read over the new cards. So if your opponent normal or special summons a monster, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then you can fusion summon 1 Melffy fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field. I was hoping to get that effect off in our match, but that didn't happen. And if this card is not all special summoned, you can add 1 Melffy monster from your deck to your hand. And yeah, as we found out, it can add another copy of itself. And if you added a normal monster, which would be Melffy Rabbi, you can special summon any number of beast monsters from your hand. You can only use 1 Melffy Rabbi's effects per turn, and only once that turn. So yeah, it has to be one or the other. And then we've got the older ones, 3 copies of Puppy, 3 copies of Catty, 3 copies of Wally, and then 2 Ovs, 2 Pinnies, and 1 Ovs, just 1 Pony now, 1 Fenny, and 1 Rabbi. Then for supporting monsters, 3 copies of Rescue Cat, and a single copy of Calantosa. Yeah, unfortunately I did have to drop Valerie Fawn and a Kitty Tail, but yeah, it was the best thing I could think of. So that's it for monsters. On with spells, starting with their pretty insane Searcher. 3 copies of Melffy Footsteps. So this card allows you to add up to 4 Melffy monsters with different names from your deck to your hand, and then it becomes the end phase of that turn. So that's actually a good way to balance out the fact that you're thinning out the deck by 4. And it does have another effect which didn't come up. I feel like I could have probably done it in our game, but I didn't think of it. You can banish this card from your GY, then target 2 Melffy cards in your graveyard except Footsteps, add 1 of them to your hand, and if you do, place the other on the bottom of the deck. You can only use this effect of Melffy Footsteps once per turn, and you cannot special summon monsters the turn you activate this effect except Melffy monsters. So, yeah, lots of searching, but very watered down drawback. And 1 copy of Tag, 2 copies of Hide and Seek, because I feel like multiple copies are still needed, and 1 Staring Contest, because I couldn't think what else to drop for these basically, and 2 copies of Obedience Schooled. Just a reminder, I know it's limited on the normal ban list, but we kept it at 3 in Richician format because we feel like Melffys were being punished for a crime they didn't commit, the crime being what Yummies did, although for the time being Yummies are allowed, but a gentleman's agreement was made that anyone playing Yummies in Richician format is restricted to 1 Obedience Schooled. So yeah, that's why it's still there, but I don't know, maybe some convinced... What's that?
I don't even plan on playing Yummy anyway.
Well, Emma still wants to play it. The problem is we haven't finished building it yet. don't know when we'll get it finished. And yeah, the generic stuff, we have Monster Reborn, Pot of Greed, Regeki, and Twin Twisters. So that's it for spells. On with traps. So still got Playhouse, just one of it now, and then their newest trap, Melffy Playtime Surprise. This is your other way of fusion summoning. Target a Melffy on your field or in your graveyard, return it to the hand, then you can fusion summon a beast fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field. If you control a Melffy Xyz, oh yeah, this effect didn't come up earlier. If you control a Melffy Xyz, you can banish this card from your GY, and for the rest of the turn, Melffy monsters you control that are special summoned from the extra deck are unaffected by your opponent's activated effects, and you can only use each effect of it once per turn. And then the generic stuff, Mirror Force, Storming Mirror Force, Solemn Strike, and Fiendish Chain. So that's it for the main deck. On with the extra deck, starting with its fusion. 2 copies of Melffy's Joyful Surprise. None of its effects came up at all in our match, but because the trap kept getting destroyed before I could use it effectively. So the materials are a Melffy and a beast. If this card is fusion summoned, you can target an equal number of Melffy cards you control and cards your opponent controls. Return them to the hand. If your opponent normal or... Oh, there's a mozzie in here. I need to swat it. Anyway, as I was saying, if your opponent normal or special summons a monster, except during the damage step, or if an opponent's monster targets this card for an attack, you can target a beast monster in your graveyard, reduce this card's level by exactly 2, and if you do special summon that target, you can only use each effect once per turn. Then I've still got 2 copies of Merry Melffys, which are my only synchro. Xyzes consist of 3 copies of Joyous Melffys, 2 copies of Melffy Mommy, 3 copies of Melffy of the Forest, and 2 copies of their new Xyz, Melffy God Mommy. So the materials being 3 or more level 2 beast monsters. Once per turn you can also Xyz summon Melffy God Mommy by using Melffy Mommy you control. Transfer its materials. If this card is special summoned, you can add a Melffy spell or trap from your deck or graveyard to your hand. It gains attack equal to the combined attack and defense of Melffy monsters attached to it. So yeah, it just occurred to me that it's pretty much Staring Contest in reverse. You can detach 5 materials from this card to return all cards your opponent controls to the hand. That's quite a powerful effect, only watered down by the fact that it loses attack. Then Rony Raccoon, 1 Sky Cavalry, and of course Zeus, the Xyz you either love or hate. And for links, Nightmare Unicorn, Nightmare Phoenix, the nice collector's rare I believe I got off Dragon Master 25, and Mrs. Radiant. And yeah, that is going to do it for this profile, you guys. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and a comment, share and subscribe if you haven't subbed already. And hopefully we'll get to fully see the fusion get used next time you see this deck in action. We've yet to work on ratios for Emma's Melffy deck, but yeah, we could go over that together at some point. I mean, I could just make it a carbon copy of this one, but you know, it's her deck. She should have a say in anything she wants to keep or drop, but we'll cross that bridge later. Anyway, that's going to do it for this deck profile. Thanks for watching, stay safe, see you later.